Okay. So I think what I heard is that you had a fantastic session with Suman, and I missed that because of something which I had to take care. Uh, but I believe that has given you a very good perspective of um, customer, branding, how to create awareness, how to attract customers, get them interested. A whole lot of things I think he has covered in a very nice and interesting manner. So when you see myself and CD, you know that our job is to give you a structure, right? Last time or yesterday when we met, we shared a structure to do need analysis, right? Which we tried, and you have seen that there is some benefit to it, right? So this session is a very short session. We'll focus on how to, I will not say how to sell, but how to take your product to the market. More focus on that. Yesterday, again, remember what CD said. Any business has only two key activities, marketing and innovation. So yesterday we tried to understand innovation and tried our bit to think innovative in terms of need analysis, what can be the solution and all, and which you need to practice. So this session will try to give you some structure on marketing, but not the entire piece, but at least a major piece of it. Okay. Now let me start asking, and I would request CD, Viren, Kashyap, please to share your experience when we are talking about stuff. Please share experience from your startup journey. Definitely CD will do to illustrate the concepts that we are discussing. Okay. One quote, if you remember what CD said, that it is not important whom you know. It's important who knows you. Right? I think that nicely summarizes that what you need to do as a startup founder. It's not important whom you know, it's important who knows you, and how do you make that happen? The key question is, okay, we understand, but how do we make that happen? Right? I think a lot of questions which came up today are all related to market access, right? Starting from, how do I let the governments know? I think our gentleman there, he had a fantastic innovation. Very exciting. But his challenge is, in spite of having a great product, I have not scaled up, right? And the reason is, I am unable to let my customers, government is your customer, let's say, or maybe government is a facilitator for the customers. I have not succeeded in making it happen, correct? But you find it that's really interesting. In spite of having a proper need, a proper innovation, why I have not been able to do that? And then we are having requests that can NEC help us reach out to the market. Now the question is that why we always need somebody to, take us there. Why can't we do our bit to reach the market? Right? If you're dependent on somebody to take you to the market, that is not sustainable. It might be one instance, that's it. So as a founder, as a entrepreneur, you need to define your own strategy that how I can make it happen, and don't expect any help. If you develop a plan A without any help, so if any help comes on your way, that's bonus, right? But if you develop your plan banking on somebody will help me to take to the market, there's a higher chance it will not happen. So today we'll discuss that how you can do your bit to reach or to connect to your customers. Okay? And I'm sure there will be some examples which will be shared to give you some pointers how it can happen. My first question, before asking you the question, the session, एक बार वो presentation चालू कर दीजिए. So the session is titled Customer Experience Journey. It's a journey. It's not just a transaction. So for this session, what you need to do, you need to do a very difficult thing, which is very difficult. You need to step into the shoes of the customer now. Okay? You please now imagine you are your customer. Whoever your customer is. For you, you step into the shoes of the weaver. Okay? For you, you step into the shoes of people who will consume tea. For you, I think one gentleman mentioned that he is developing technology, right? Please step into the shoes of your potential customers or users, okay? But before you do that, I love the quotes that CD mentioned. CD takes a design thinking session and he mentions to practice design thinking, you need to step into the shoes of the customer, but there is a condition. First, you need to step out of your shoes. Then only you can step into the shoes of the customer. And this is what people can't do easily. That's the reason they can't step into the shoes of the customer. So, I would request you for the time being, for this session, step out of your shoes, whatever shoes you are wearing, and step into the shoes of your customer. Think from the angle of the customer, right? So the entire session will be fruitful when you think from the angle of the customer. And this is something which you should always do. Because again, CD's quote, marketing is the entire business from customer's point of view. That is marketing, as simple as that. Unless you step into the shoes of the customer, how can you do marketing? Okay? Now, if you have already stepped into the shoes of the customer, and then there is a brand, whatever brand you have, right? Whatever brand you have, X, Y, Z. Tell me, and the customer interacts with your brand, correct? And it's a journey, not one time, multiple times. When do you think the first time that the customer interacts with your brand or customer comes across your brand, may not be interacting, what point in time? When your customer, for the first time, your potential customer, it has not been converted to customer, right? Potential customer, what is the first time they will come across your brand, whatever brand it is? When they feel the need to buy the product. Let's say I want to consume tea. Then I will try to look for tea, various kind of tea, then I will come to you. Might come, okay? They are browsing, they just see
the product.
Advertisement of your product. So advertisements. That's the first time people come across your, but at what stage they will do that? My question is, at what stage I will look for advertisements? If that is the case. When they make a decision to buy tea, when they make a decision to buy, what's your product? When I make a decision I want to buy jewelry, then I will start looking for advertisement. Any other thoughts, any other observation? Any other observation? Huh? Give me an example.
So, for example, if I have discovered, a brand selling, let's say, jewelry, but at that point I did not have a need to purchase, but I kind of liked the product. So I'll keep that parked in my head. And if I meet someone else and who is
looking for a jewelry, you said you can check this out.
Yeah.
So again, it comes back to the same thing. If there is somebody is looking for jewelry, okay. Any other observation? Do you think this is the first time when the customer generally comes across, or we call touch points, right? Is this the first touch point? When they face the problem, then?
So if they are facing a problem in their current life, then they want to find a solution for that. then only maybe, say suppose I'm in my customer's shoes. So if I'm
Good, at
having,
least one person has already stepped into the customer's shoes. Go ahead.
so if I'm having problem with my traditional way of doing handloom business, so once I face the problem, then only I'll try to find an alternative to, or a solution to my problem, sir. So when I face a problem, maybe that's the first time that I'll look for my products.
So let's say, let's take example of this jewelry.
Yes.
Okay, so when do you actually, what triggers that? What triggers that, that touch point with your brand? Let's say you're in making jewelry.
Sir, you asked us to step into our customer shoes.
Customer shoes, right?
From that perspective, I said.
No, agreed. I'm not saying you are wrong. I'm saying that give example.
So in jewelry, say suppose if a customer is dealing in jewelry.
Let's say jewelry is the product.
Yeah, jewelry is a product.
Let's take one product. Yeah.
Currently, if the customer is selling up, since my customers are all B2B, so if one of my customers is selling jewelry and her current jewelry products are not living up to the expectations of her sales expectations, she's facing some sales problem. So she will definitely try to look for alternatives, or there is a need now.
Okay, so the example that you are giving is that I already sell jewelry.
Yes.
And now the jewelry
is not selling as I expected.
Range that I have, that is not selling well, so I'm looking for different jewelry.
Yes.
So that has triggered the interaction.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Any example? Anybody thinks differently? Then I'll ask another question. Yeah. The first, I'm talking about the first. I'm not saying all touch points. First, very first time when there's a possibility of your potential customer coming across your brand or,
It can be probably where they probably see an advertisement, or it can be a mentioning.
So you're talking about advertisement of your product, right? That I have a fantastic e-commerce platform. Come on board.
Yeah.
What triggers that?
The triggering point can be multiple things, but one thing can be like, for example, even if, let's say I'm just browsing, reading some thing, and then I may just come across an ad, or I may come across an article which talks about that piece. And that may...
You comes across an article which triggers that.
Yes. It can be a news or an article.
Can it happen? Sometimes you come across an article or maybe a YouTube video.
Yes.
Just while you are browsing.
Yes.
And that triggers interest. Hey, it looks interesting. So you have not decided to buy a jewelry, but just looking at an article or something like that, that triggered interest. Let me look at it.
Yeah. At least personally, I've experienced it. I have visited sites, and went through just by going through that. I came across, found it interesting, came across a blog.
So what he's saying is that he didn't have any intention to buy jewelry. Just I'm taking example of jewelry.
Yeah.
Please sit. He was just browsing and he suddenly figured out that Shah Rukh Khan is wearing this jewelry, which he liked. He didn't have that intention. And he has a party, a big party next week, and he wants to look like Shah Rukh Khan. So then suddenly that triggered the need. What if I get that chain which Shah Rukh Khan that's part of his dress. Initially, he didn't have any intention to buy jewelry. Does it happen? Do you experience the same thing? Yes or no? So now let me ask you the question. Do customers look for jewelry? Yes? Do customers look for jewelry? Yes? Huh? They want to look beautiful, or they are looking for jewelry? You want the drill or the hole? Did you ever experience that you visited a shop to buy something which you have decided earlier? You go there and you find that this fits my requirement better. Maybe a completely different article. And you ended up purchasing that? It happened to all of you? Why it happens? Because you are not looking for the jewelry, you are looking for something which will make you look beautiful. Maybe instead of the chain, you find a nice cowboy cap. I think one of my friends here typically wears that cowboy cap which is missing. Last time I think you had it. Do you make the cap or you just wear it? Huh? You just bought it. Okay. There's a market for that, by the way. So, you find a nice cap which you feel, okay, that looks much better, that suits me much better, my personality much better. I thought of jewelry, I will not buy it. Correct? So, now if you step into the shoes of the customer, you see the customer need comes up just because customer is facing a problem. If I use the word problem, just it's a much broad-based term. I'm not saying that I am having a problem. When customer has felt a need and then tried looking for a solution to that need. Correct? Let's take example of education, which you'll all understand. One simple example. Let's say my son is not doing well in terms of studies. His numbers or grades are not so good. So I am worried. Now I am looking for a solution. Should I look for Byju's and upgrade directly, or what should I do? What would you do? Huh? So you decide, because I already have something, right? I'm doing something, okay? But the grades are still not going up. What should you do? Ideally? Sorry? But you don't even know what are the options. Think about it. Step into the shoes. Huh? What will you Google? But do you know that the home tutor will solve the problem? You don't even know. First you need to find out that why he is not doing well. Correct? So do we jump into solutions? If we do it, then probably that's not the right solution. How do you know that home tutor will solve the problem? You need to talk to people, your friends and the peer group, that I have this problem. Do you have the same problem? This is what happens, right? Did you talk about the solution? What do? You go to internet, look at some videos where some expert will tell you how to bring attention. Correct? What will make the kids study? Do that or not as parents? We do that, right? Then we try to diagnose that, okay, probably this is going to work for my son. Or you directly decide that, no, let me buy Byju's for my son. Do you do that? Ideally, we do first research ourselves that what are the probable options that will solve this problem. For that, what we do? What are the possible channels that we tap into? No, what? Obviously, internet channel. But what do you look for in the internet channel for this case? Imagine you are the parent, right? You are the customer.
We'll try to find the relevant content.
Relevant content. Content on parenting. Content on how to actually teach your kid. Correct? Maybe some YouTube videos by some experts. Or some articles. Correct? On child psychology. Something like that. That in spite of giving all the support, why he's not doing well. That's one option. What else you would do? What else you can do? Just going to internet, we can't think beyond internet now.
Talk to friends, or probably we'll take some expert advice.
Talk to friends who also has kids or who has already gone past that stage. So friends, internet. And internet means articles and YouTubes and all. You are still not looking at advertisements, right? Advertisements are around you, but you don't know. What else? Sorry? Teacher. You talk to teacher. Ma'am, I don't know what to do. Can you suggest what are the options that I have now, or can you suggest what to do? Correct? So teachers, your peer group or parents, other parents, internet, anything else? Talk to the kid. Common sense. Now you are stepping into the shoes of the customer. What else you will do? Okay, chalo. Let's assume these are the 4 channels that he will tap into to get more insights on the problem. Correct? And now you see, if you have a solution, now again step back into your shoes as an entrepreneur. Now, if you have a solution which improves the learning abilities or whatever outcome of kids, right? And then there is a customer who has this problem and looking for solution. Now you see, there is a need. There are people who are looking for solution, and here you have sitting with the solution. All you need to do is bridge this gap now. Right? So, what is the easier way to do it? Wherever that parent will go to check out what solutions are available, if you are there somewhere, then you will get immediate visibility that this is one of the options. Right? So, she mentioned referrals. If I talk to my friend and my friend says, you know what, my son also had the same problem. But then we enrolled him into this course or this private tutor. How you identify private tutor? By referrals. So private tutors are also offering service. Consider that also as a product, right? And how do they get business? Mostly through referrals, but some of them also do a lot of advertisements on various media. But then how do you find that out? Because you have a problem, you are looking for opportunities, you get some advice, and based on that, when you are searching for it, then you see that, this guy exists. Right? So the first step for you is, how do I get into that stage when the customer has not yet decided, but exploring? Correct? If your company keeps on writing blogs and articles on parenting and effective learning, there is a high chance that if the parents who are having this problem would come across these articles or blogs, and they say, who has written it? It's written by Professor CD. And Professor CD is the founder of this company, People Magic, which is into solutions. Then the first thing we'll do is explore what is People Magic. Right? Yes or no? Naturally this will happen, that first let me explore the guy who has given this advice. So the customer experience journey starts much before we think. And if we don't get there, then by the time the customer looks at my advertisement, probably the customer has made up some other mind. How do we influence the mind of the customer? Okay? So, so, we have given you a printout. This is the same picture. So, this is not that I have invented, this already exists. I have just borrowed it and sharing with you because I think this is a very interesting tool which you can use to develop your customer experience journey. So see, there are three distinct areas: before, during, and after. Right? So we are talking about the before phase, which is need, generation. So what is this need generation phase? That I am facing a challenge, I am facing a problem. And I need to know how to solve the problem. Correct? So for example, yesterday we figured out that Ranjit has these various categories of blended tea, which has a lot of health benefits. If I am stressed out, what tea that kills the stress? Blue tea. So he has blue tea which helps in reducing the stress level. How many of you know that? Not many for you. But do you all suffer from stress? Do you all want to get out of stress? So you are potential customers. But why this gap exists? Because they are not aware that a simple solution, if I, whatever you are claiming, if I consider 100% true, okay, I have not validated your claim, by the way. I am not selling blue tea, by the way, but just giving an example. If there are articles that how blue tea can give you health benefits, some YouTube videos how to make blue tea, and some testimonials that how blue tea, you are not selling your company, you are selling the benefits of blue tea. And if I am stressed out and I want to find out some way that I can save my body from the negative impacts of stress, sometimes you keep on reading, right? You get these articles and all, or WhatsApp University also shares a lot of articles like this. And if you see this, are you not interested to look at it sometimes? That's an easy thing. So, if Arabica tea, or if Ranjit and his company is not into, is not there in that space, that means people are not aware of you. But if Ranjit has written 20 articles on various aspects of various kinds of tea, with videos and nice stories, not selling his product, just creating awareness. Don't you think people who are stressed out, that looks at, and they will realize, hey, blue tea is there, and that popularizes the blue tea? Maybe some other companies will get benefited as well. But doesn't matter. The market is still built. And since you are writing it, you will have more credibility. Or if your company, somebody is writing it. Do you agree what I'm saying?
Can I step in a bit?
Yeah, please.
Okay. So I'm just taking the cue, and we'll take the example of blue tea and stress, just as an example. So look at that first phase, need generation. Sometimes you have the need, except the need is not for blue tea, the need is for a stress reliever. Yeah? Sometimes you don't know that you have that need. Do I have stress? What do I know? So now I'm just giving you an example, and I'm thought on the spur of the moment, so don't say this is right, perfect, just as an example. Suppose there's an article which says 10 signs that show you that you're suffering from stress. I'm curious, I read it, and I realize 10 signs include I'm not able to, when I go to bed, I'm unable to go to sleep within 15 minutes. Or I scratch my head a lot. Or I said, Arey, out of these 10 signs, maybe I already have 4 or 5. Maybe I'm suffering from stress. I didn't know that I was suffering from stress. But now somebody is telling me that maybe I do suffer from stress. So that's level 1. That I don't even know I have a problem or I have a need, but you've helped me discover it. Then another article which says 10 tips to help you get over stress. Now what are the 10 tips? Deep breathing, meditation, yoga, put off your light, don't keep your mobile next to you while sleeping, etc., 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 etc. Point number 8 out of 10, there are certain natural things like some teas like blue tea. So out of 10 tips, only 1 or 2 talk only about the category. I've still not talked about Arabica tea. But who is it being brought by, or who is it been written by? At the bottom there is a bit of Arabica tea. Next you say, that I've now got interested, oh, I know I'm aware that maybe I've got a little bit of stress, or maybe my brother or sister or spouse has stress because I can see the symptoms, maybe I need to help. Then I realize there are 5 things or 10 things I can do to release stress, and maybe one of them is blue tea. Then I want to know what are the options, where I can get, how to make blue tea, how much does it cost, where is it available. That is where the journey begins. So I am still in that need generation means I'm either aware of the need, or sometimes I'm not fully aware, or I know the symptom, I don't know the problem, right? What happens when you go to a doctor? You know the symptom. Doctor, I have fever, but I don't know whether I have fever because of malaria or typhoid or whatever. The doctor will help me understand. Sometimes you know the symptom, you don't know the problem. So you will help them discover the problem. Then you will suggest a solution. And this way of engaging people, especially today, thanks to internet, WhatsApp University, people search. Earlier what used to happen, people used to ask each other questions. 3 people, 5 people, your friend, neighbor. Today it's much easier. You go on the internet, you go on Google, you post a question on WhatsApp, you post a question on Facebook, you will get answers. And if there are slightly more specific things that you want, you will immediately get recommendations, etc. Right? And there are particular. For example, I suddenly feel like I want to go on a holiday at short notice. What will I do? There's a site called TripAdvisor. I will go and search there. There's a new OTT series on Netflix. Should I see it, not see it? I'll go and check out the IMDb rating. This process, and there's a term which has been created by Google in 2011, it's called ZMOT. I'm not getting into the detail, later if there's a chance I will, but otherwise not. It's called the zero moment of truth. And this is a phenomenon which has happened only in the last 10, 12 years. Before 10, 12 years, unless you were buying something really big or serious like a house or a car, people did not do too much of research. Today, it is very easy and it's almost instinctive. It is almost natural that most people, even if you are buying a 200 rupee product, you will quickly go check out rating, check out review, search on the Google, because within seconds you will get an answer. When you search, in that journey of searching, need generation and consideration, is your category and then your brand. First, I should be aware that blue tea can help solve my stress problem. Then I should, when I search for blue tea, your brand should come up. Because in that journey, if I'm not understanding that your category can solve the problem, and then your brand can solve the problem, you will miss the bus. Somebody else will solve the problem of stress, or some other brand of blue tea will take the business away. Okay? So that is, you have to understand by putting yourself in the customer's shoes.
Right.
What do people do?
See, nowadays people don't like somebody who is trying to sell. Do you like people who is trying to sell something? You like people who is giving you a solution, who is advising you on, based on realistic, practical experience. You like that. And then probably you would like to buy things from that person after that. We don't, earlier it was advertisement means very clear. What is advertisement? Very clear, I want to sell. Now we have so many people who are trying to sell, now we are tired of salespeople. So the approach has to be different. I'll give you a couple of examples from my personal experience. There is a website called darjeeling-tourism.com. Anybody has seen that? darjeelingtourism.com. I follow it. Follow it in the sense, because I love mountains. But when I visit, I don't want to go to the same place, Darjeeling, right? There are plenty of other small places. And that website is so good. It talks each and every aspect of that which you will not find anywhere. Where to eat, which are the best places, where you get a very special momo. Those are all, very small with no branding kind of shops. Where you can stay with a reasonable price, budget price, detailed description. If you want to travel, where you can get car which will be cheaper than any other option, right? If you're a budget traveler, where you can stay, go and you will look at it. So helpful. So whenever I plan a trip, Darjeeling and Sikkim as well, I just go to the site, learn about that place, and based on that, I do internet search. Or I call that homestay saying that, you know what, because I trust. This guy is not trying to sell me anything. right? But then, I wish whether I could get this guy who would have arranged my trip. It happens or not? If this guy is so helpful, he has so much knowledge about this place, I wish this guy would have helped me to arrange my trip for Sikkim. Correct? So now, he has another channel after that article through which you can connect him. And if you connect him, he will help you to do that, and that is his actual tourism business. But he never talks about his tourism business on his articles. That come, I will help you. No. Okay? So this is one example which I have personally experienced. So, need generation is in one area where I don't see many or most of the startups don't even think about it. Next, after that is generated, you are more educated. Then you will try to find out that what options are there in the market. Right? So then I know that, okay, the recommendation is go for these online e-learning courses for my son. Then I'll try to do a search that which are the online portals or apps available, the reviews. Then I'll do a detailed search for that to learn, to evaluate. That is the next phase, which is initial consideration. This we all understand. And most of us try to chip in at that stage. Correct? We want to put our ads and all so that when people are looking for us, they will find it. But that's a sales pitch. Clear? So that is the phase when people are looking for providers of solution. So once I'm aware of the blue tea has these benefits, then I will look at various channels that includes referrals also, that where can I get authentic blue tea, right? And I get 10, 15 options. But then something will happen which will help me choose or shortlist, let's say 3 out of 10 or 20 or 50 based on reviews, based on whatever is mentioned, based on perceptions, based on feedback from my friends. Then that takes me to the next stage, which is engagement. What is engagement? So once I find that these are the 3 options which I would like to check out after looking at doing a research of, let's say, 20 options, right? Then what's the immediate next stage? Do you pay immediately? What do you do? Sorry? How do you evaluate? Okay. Then you do a deep dive into the offerings of that company or that product, right? So, once you decide on that, that need comes up that, okay, now jewelry will fulfill my need. Then you shortlist at least 1 or 2 or 3 and do a deep dive. Okay, what is the material? What kind of gems are there? What kind of stones are there? What pricing? Compare the pricing. Then you do a deep dive and do a deep research into those few, not all 100. Correct? And then that is the engagement. And you might call sometimes also, no? Pick up the phone and call. You know what? It is not clear from your picture whether these are diamonds or artificial diamonds. Or zirconia. Right? It is not clear from your picture that whether this is a 18 karat gold or 24 karat gold. You want to know details, right? But that only for a shortlisted few. That is engagement. Okay? How you can influence the mindset of the entrepreneurs at the consideration stage so that they select you. You are in the top 3. That is the challenge you need to address. The next challenge is that once they shortlist you, then how they will finally select you. Now, let me share my experience. Now, startups have this need that why don't you give me some market? Correct? In the last session that happened, one gentleman said that when you are using for your need, why are you not buying only from startups? So startups will have a market. Let me share our experience with you. So yes, we shortlisted 3 startups. So we were after consideration, we came to the engagement. I need to find out more details that we wanted to, let's say, create this memento basket. Let us take a practical example. And we wanted to use only our startup products for the memento basket. Correct? This is a real life case. So we'll shortlist a few startups whom we think would be, meeting our needs. Right? Now, we didn't want to give just, a basket or a gift. We wanted IMCIP logo or the NEC logo on it. So what engagement means? I need to figure out, I need to call that person. Can you do it? If yes, what is the lead time? Can you deliver it? Now, when I start engaging, I write email. After 5 days, the response comes. Or maybe the response on the email comes immediately. I call, very difficult to reach that person. Person is very busy. I need some information. I need some negotiation. Not available. Let me give you practical experience. And then later on when you find out that, boss, we wanted to reach out. Sir, we are so busy. We didn't have time. If you don't have time to talk to your customer, then what are you doing? How many of you respond immediately? In half an hour, response goes back to your customer. How many of you? Good, I'm very happy. Maybe I'll test sometimes. I'll test sometimes, okay? And I'll prove that this is not correct. I can prove this is not correct. I have seen it for last 8 years. So one thing I recommend the startups, this engagement phase is so important and that makes or breaks the deal. Sometimes customers are willing to pay if they find you responsive. Do you agree? Kashyap, any example from your experience on this engagement phase? How you can make it?
Yeah, sure. So let me take an example from Pepperfry. I've spent 10 years with them. So a lot of my examples will be from Pepperfry, even in my conversation. Typically what happens is that we have stores. We have 190 stores now. We started as an online-only company, but 190 stores. And obviously we watch how the salespeople behave. When people walk in, some of the stores are large. They are about 8,000 square feet, 10,000 square feet. When people walk in, sometimes the salesperson is sitting, at one corner or, at some other place. And the customer has to walk up to them and talk to them and, say, hey, I'm wanting to look for a certain bed or table or whatever. But we've seen cases where it's vice versa. Somebody is waiting at the door. As soon as the customer comes in, they're greeted well. These simple things, being prompt, being interested in the customer, you actually ask questions. What are you looking for? If you're looking for a bed, what is it? Is it for yourself? Is it for your parents? Is it for your child? Is it for the guest bedroom? Is it for the main room? So as you show interest in the customer and, show a lot of responsiveness, typically we've noticed that the conversion in those kind of calls, proactive calls, are much higher than, where you say, hey, he has a need, he'll come and talk to me. The product is the same, the price is the same, even the rest of the customer experience might be the same, the delivery, the installation, but just that initial engagement with the customer makes all the difference.
I think as customers we can agree what he's saying, right? How much we do, that is the engagement. Technology, I think you are talking about technology, right? Technology companies has this serious problem. I supply a software, my business is down, I make a phone call, Or I write email saying my system is down and these things. What is the response time we get? Or even I want to know more about it. Give me a demo. It takes me weeks to at least get a demo from the, service provider. I don't understand how they are doing business. So I always lose interest in the engagement phase. You might be the best provider in the country. So engagement phase is very important. I don't know how much you plan for the engagement phase. For example, our gift basket, right? I say I need a good bag to put the items, right? Now one approach is that, yes, I have these bags, which one you like? That is one approach. Right? The other approach is that before showing anything, talk to me. Sir, what is the occasion? Who all would be coming? Okay, what is their background? What do you think they would like? Then, based on that, if you provide a couple of suggestions to them and advise, sir, I think your logo should be here, it will be very visible. So when people take back home, your brand visibility will be there. Don't you think we'll buy from that guy? How many of you do that when you are selling, engaging with your customer, not selling? You play the role of a solution provider. I'm sure many of you are doing it. But this is engagement, as Kashyap was saying. And that sometimes changes the mind of the customer. I came there to buy a small bag. I actually end up buying a big bag because you convinced me that the small bag will not meet the needs. Otherwise, I'm pushing whatever I have. So you are adding value as a startup at every phase of the customer journey. Customers have choice, by the way. So how much engagement, how much time you spend on customer engagement? If you spend good enough time on engagement and play that role that we are talking about, then the customer would actually evaluate in terms of, now I think this is a good vendor or this is a good seller. I would like to now buy. So the decision comes at that stage that you think about buying it. But how many times you have decided to purchase things, put it on the cart, and then abandoned it? It happens? How often it happens? Percentage? 70%. Do you believe it's 70%? It actually happens 70%. You are right. 70% of the time, people load their cart and then they abandon that. Why do you think? Why? I have taken the pain, spent hours to build that cart or, add items in the cart. And then I abandon it. Why? If you don't understand this, your e-commerce, e-commerce site, your products will also be abandoned. How do you make those 70% convert and make it lesser? You come to a shop, you look at 5 mobiles, and you like a mobile. Will you buy it? Do you buy it? How many of you buy it? Immediately. Is it always we buy it? Then something goes in your mind. We say, okay, baad mein aayenge. We do it or not? But you like that mobile. You have decided, if I buy, I will probably buy this kind of mobile. But you still don't buy it. Why? But you all are customers. Why you don't buy it still? Maybe in the background it says, maybe I'll need to, but I like it, but maybe something more might exist. What else? Price. You might think, is it the right price? I like the mobile. Maybe I'll go back and check. Correct? So now you see, as a seller, you did all the hard work, explained to him. You have spent so much effort on engagement. You have taken it, just about to convert it, and the customer leaves you. So the gap between the cup and the lip. How do you ensure that it doesn't happen? Or what are some of the techniques that you can do? That is part of the moment of purchase. How do you take them from evaluation to moment of purchase? Any examples? Any examples from real life, CD? How do you convert that evaluation to moment of purchase and reduce the 70%? It happens to all of us, right?
Okay, so I'll give a comparative example and a different one. So, as Subhrangshu and some of you were saying, there is something going on in the mind of the consumer. Why is he that close and still not fully convinced? Is he want to comparing more options? Is he hoping for a slightly better deal? Sometimes this is where you can give maybe an incentive, saying, there's a special offer today. If you don't take it, then you can come back tomorrow. That's your choice is yours. So you have to make the customer feel empowered. It's finally the customer, you need to respect the customer, their choice, their decision. But can you add a small little carrot? If you buy today, you will get this special thing, or I can give you this, but maybe tomorrow, I'm not sure I will be. So maybe that will help swing the, thing. Or, sir, what are you actually looking for? Maybe he's still not very sure. So you have to ask questions. And sometimes you will actually take a step back. Actually, sir, maybe you think you like this phone, but this is not the right one for you. You use a lot for data. You actually need a better memory. I have another one. Let me show you. So what happens is that you are now engaging with the customer and trying to understand the real problem. And now, rather than a seller, you are now becoming an advisor. In fact, sometimes the salespeople are called sales advisors or whatever. I'm not sure all of them behave like that. But if they actually take on the role of an advisor, where I actually spend time, as you were saying, understanding your problem and then making a recommendation, and finally possibly sweetening the deal by adding a little incentive which is applicable for a short time, that might help clinch the deal, right? And sometimes you also go deeper into understanding. There's a story, I don't know how true it is. Apparently someone went to and this is a story from US, to buy a pair of skis, right? So that person, now normally as Subhrangshu said, normally you're sitting, or your example, you're sitting in the corner, in the cash counter or wherever, the shopper will, or the customer will browse through all the shelves, pick up one or two, come to the thing, I'm buying this or that. But here the person got up and started, can I help you? And again, sometimes salespeople are too pushy and you're saying, leave me alone, let me time. So you have to respect that. But he tried to understand, okay sir, so what do you need? So he said, I'm thinking of buying some ski. Okay, so fair enough, what kind of ski? And then he started engaging, story. Okay, so are you going on a skiing trip? Yeah, next month I'm taking my family. Okay, so where are you going? Oh, that ski resort. Very nice, I also once went there. In fact, I have some photograph, let me show you. Are you staying here, there? So, nice story, friendship, growing. Then, वो बात में story करते sir, but you're buying the ski, but you also need ski boots, no? Do you have a proper ski boot? I have an old one. Will it fit? Sir, compatibility may not be. Why don't you, if you're buying a new ski, why don't you buy a ski boot? Achha, when are you going? Next month. The temperature is going to be down. You also need ski gloves, right? You need whatever. And in a very gentle way. You're not pushing, selling. Actually convincing him. So apparently he came for skis which cost maybe $700 or $1,000. He ended up spending $17,000. And most importantly, going back very happy. Saying such a nice person who helped me. Not only by, I realized my children who were 5 years old have now become after 3 years, they need another slightly larger ski. So I also bought them for them. He's gone back very happy with high customer satisfaction score. He'll give a 9 or 10 out of 10. But he's actually spent maybe more than 10 times what he originally. Why? Because he's gone to the need. Because the need is not buying ski. The need is to give his family the most memorable holiday, right? And for that, everything, because he's come with that emotion that after 2 years, 3 years, after COVID, whatever, I'm going for the skiing holiday with my family and I want to give them the most memorable holiday, right? Paisa hai. Lekin I need to have that emotional, that what Suman was talking about. My emotion is about somebody who feels proud and happy that I'm doing the best, I'm giving the best holiday, the most memorable time to my family. That is the need, not just buying a pair of skis, right? So you have to engage enough to understand. And this is really what Subhrangshu was saying, taking off your shoes and entering the shoes of your customer. Yeah?
A fantastic example, right? So you are not buying skis. You actually want to have a fantastic holiday, right? So you all need to understand that before you engage with the customer. Okay? And whatever message you are putting on your ads, whatever messages you are putting on your articles, all should convey that I have a solution. I am not pushing my product. Okay? Now, coming back to the next, after evaluation, then that's the purchase, right? Now, what are some of the techniques you can push? It's very important to understand the customer's mind. Okay? And that is the most difficult part, right? Now, how do you convert that? How to convert that to a sale? From evaluation to moment of truth. CD gave one example. Important thing is to understand that why the customer is not buying it. Is it because of money? Or is it because it is not matching exactly what the customer is looking for? Sometimes we need to accept we don't have a right solution for you. But if you mention that sir, I don't think we have the right solution for you, but I can suggest, even that can be a competitor. Even I can suggest, look, Paperfry doesn't have this kind of thing, but Urban Ladder, or what is the other company, your competitor? Urban Ladder, we know that they have a new range. Please look at that. So I am referring my competitor, but what I am doing indirectly? Am I not addressing your need? Would you not respect me? Next time you have a need for a furniture, you will first come to Paperfry again. Now I am looking for a dressing table. You know that if I don't have it, I'll always guide you to the right person who will offer the right kind of solution. So don't even hesitate referring your competitor if you don't have the solution. Why? It's a relationship that we are building. We feel that, why should I do that? If Aromica doesn't have a specific kind of tea today, but you know somebody has it, you say, sir, you can have it there. But we are also developing it. Maybe in the next 3 months we'll do it. But please come back to us for any other need. I will respect you. I'll know that you are my right advisor, right? And if you feel that the customer, you remember what I mentioned? Emotional benefit minus what? Hassle factor. Now if you feel that person doesn't have that money now, okay, maybe he will have that money after the payday. This is 23rd of the month. That's the reason he is not buying the mobile, not committing the mobile. Because credit card is also, the limit is full. If you realize that, so that's a hassle factor for that guy. You say, don't worry, sir, just give me a little down payment. I will deliver it and just, we'll sign a small thing that we pay the next. This is not part of your normal offering, but if you see this guy is genuine, a small push. Don't let the customer go out of your store. If the customer goes out of your store, 99% chance you will never get him or her back. You do whatever required, that if you have spent a lot of time through engagement, do something to convert it. And have a strategy, several strategies to do it. Very difficult, whatever I'm saying is not easy, but at least be conscious, be aware about that, spend that extra effort on that part. That is moment of truth, means you have decided and you have paid. Again, many startups are happy that the customer has purchased. We have given order for the gifts. Tomorrow is my program. Till 10 p.m. at night, I am anxiously waiting in my office for the delivery of the product. Understand what will happen if those gifts are not, reaching. And every time I call, in 5 minutes, sir, 5 minutes, sir, 5 minutes. For the last 2 days is 5 minutes, 5 minutes. Would you buy from that person ever again? Should we face this kind of examples or not? And our team is so stressed out because of this. So, the decision of purchase is not the end of the story. I will buy only one time. Next time I will come to you. You should be equally careful, equally, sincere for the next phase also, which is delivery and installation. And I think Kashyap will tell you hundreds of stories on this because his business that was a very critical element of his business. I'm sure he will cover part of it there. How important it is. And Kashi, if I say delivery and installation is a feature of your product, is it wrong? It is a feature of your product. Can you imagine? Pepperfry is selling a bed. There are so many features and functions of the bed. But delivery and installation is a function of your product. Do you realize that? The service is actually embedded in your product. If you don't do it, so delivery and installation is equally important for most of the cases. Then comes usage. What do you mean by usage? Usage means, how do you see that your customers, how do you ensure that your customers are using it the right way and leveraging the full potential of your product? Again, let me take example of, I am promoting Ranjit's blue tea, by the way. Ranjit, I deserve some free blue tea from you now. Anyway, so Ranjit's blue tea. You have purchased, he has delivered ekdam promptly with a nice packaging. Now, you need to brew it for only 3 minutes. Beyond 3 minutes, if you keep it, the actual effect slowly comes down. How do you, if you don't ensure that, then the customer will say, क्या फालतू चाय है यार, बोलता है स्ट्रेस, कुछ नहीं होता है. This is also very true for Darjeeling tea. You need to know how much, what is the, how much tea you will put in, how much water, and for what time you will do it. I saw one guy who did a fantastic, because if your product is sensitive to that brewing time, what he did, I need some tips for you. Abhik. He had a nicely packaged product and he has given a small, what do you call the sandwich, no? Yeah. You have seen the sandwich? Hourglass, sorry. Not sandwich, hourglass, sorry. Where the sand, you've seen all hourglass, right? And the hourglass is tuned in a way that when you start brewing it, the time is kept by the hourglass. Simple thing. So it's a novelty also. You like it. But that also ensures that you are using it the right way. Do it. Yeah.
So I'll give an example. There's a cafe in Kolkata which gives, French press coffee, right? Now again, it has to brew for a certain time, not too long or not too little. I mean, there are many products. For example, if you're, sure all of you fly Indigo, you buy upma, they'll say 5 minutes. They'll give you hot water and they say after 5 minutes. Now less than 5 minutes is not going to taste right. If it's too long, it will also not be hot, right? Now they can't do that obviously in an aircraft, but this is a slightly nice cafe. So along with that, they give an hourglass. And they have different coffees for which they have different hourglasses. So with that particular coffee, they will give, there is a 3 minute, 4 minute, 5 minute, 6 minute hourglass. So with the particular coffee that they give you, they place the hourglass and saying, sir, when it finishes, now you press the French thing and pour it and have it. This is the best taste. 3 things happen. One is, somehow, just by doing this, firstly, you're making sure they drink the coffee right, correct? Because you will not exceed the time or do it too early. Because a lot of people may not know what is the right time, so you're giving them, and they are not expected to, keeping track of your watch or your mobile. This is the very easy, frictionless, what someone was talking, visible thing. 2 is, it almost psychologically makes you feel that here is a company or a cafe which cares about the quality of the product and your quality of your experience of their product. They're not only giving you coffee because you're paying the money. They want you to have a good coffee. They want you to have a good experience, and they are taking that extra mile. Thirdly, because of this, you will be surprised to know, psychologically, you will actually think and feel and believe that the coffee tastes better. You have heard something called the placebo effect. When you take just a normal pill and you believe it cures your medicine because the psychological. So things like this, and it makes the experience more memorable. Why do we go to a coffee shop? To drink coffee? No, we go there to have a good experience. So this is part of the experience, which makes it more memorable, which makes it feel special. You're going alone, you're going with somebody. the fact that you go to 10 other coffee shops, but here is the coffee shop which gives an hourglass along with that, makes the experience feel more special. It makes you believe, even if it's not true, that the coffee is better. Of course, it gives you the best quality of the coffee, but it actually makes you believe the coffee tastes better, because somebody who takes so much time and effort in giving you exact timing must also be putting good quality coffee, right? Psychologically believe we must be putting good quality coffee in that press, because they're not only ingredient is the good, the timing is also perfect, because all of this will add up to have a perfect coffee experience. That is what they're trying to make sure that you have, and they're making it idiot proof. They're not leaving it to chance, and they're making it very easy for you to ensure that you have a good quality coffee, right?
Fantastic example, and I've seen this. So there is a famous shop when you go to Darjeeling, Margaret House or something, the name I forgot. There, I have experienced this, they have given this and I started sipping. The waiter scolded me. Hey, you don't know how to make Darjeeling tea? Don't touch this. Wait and then you sip. Because they wanted to ensure that I have the right experience. IT industry. I spent 15 years in the IT industry. Okay? And you will agree, you have been in the IT industry, you said, right? Majority of the problem raised by the customers are due to usage issues. They don't know how to use the software. And they will complain it's a bug. Agreed? Not the problem the customer. Problem is with me. I have not made the system foolproof enough. That the customer will not even commit that mistake. So, my boss, in that banking, in that US bank, used to tell me, you need to develop a software which even the monkey can use. Then you have developed a good software. Right? Anyways, so all these things you should embed in your product. Your product should have experience inbuilt. How many of you are building experience in your product? Okay? And that is the usage I'm talking about. Do you take feedback? Okay. Now, taking feedback is not easy. Right? Everybody will agree. After buying, I don't care to send a feedback. I'm happy, or I'm unhappy, okay, sometimes. So people who speak out are good, even if they are giving gali. Correct? But people who don't speak out, which is the majority, they are the most dangerous. You don't know how they are feeling good, bad, ugly. So I have seen many companies using this method that they say, okay, when you wear it, please post it on this Facebook and we'll give you a voucher or something. What happens? You can check whether they are using it, in what way they are using it. It's a feedback as well. It's promotion also. And that is the last part of this thing. You want all your customers to evangelize your product. That is the ultimate goal. Selling once is not important. You need to convert all your customers as evangelists of your product. How do you build that? You all know that repeat purchases are much less, or return customers are less expensive than acquiring new customers. Do you have an effective strategy for that? They are not only purchasing from you, they are actually evangelizing. They are marketing your product on your behalf. I'll give one excellent example. You can do a Google, Kafer Homestay, K-A-F-E-R. That's in Kalimpong. That's one enterprise whom we are. Now they have a fantastic YouTube presence and people go there just looking at the YouTube. Okay? Facebook and everywhere their videos are there. And you will love that if you look at the videos. The homestay owner has no clue about this. He has not developed a single YouTube video. Who developed it? All his customers have developed it. They liked it so much, they have developed YouTube because they felt that people should go here. People must visit here. Go and you look at it. So they have become evangelists. And now he has started attracting film stars there. Out of nowhere. He has no promotion budget, no marketing budget. Just he has managed the cycle so well, starting from, engagement, delivery, all these things. Now customers are taking care of the need. Right? So whenever I'm looking for a homestay, that pops up because customers have make sure that it's too much information on the web on Cafe Homestay. I was surprised to see. It is possible, it is happening. Convert your customer to evangelist. So the printout you have that covers all the steps. Post lunch, like after Kashyap sessions, what you need to do, each step you need to write how customer will engage with you there. What channel? What kind of engagement? I'll give you an example. Just next wala. This is one example. Need generation. How it happens? Let's say for this product, whatever it is, people do it by searching internet. That means what? You need to be present when the customer is. You need to be present. You have a good presence on internet, which will address the need generation phase. So that is your action. Then initial consideration means when I'm doing the search. What kind of activities? Engagement. So what would be your strategy? What action you need to take, think and do? You may not be doing it now. But if you don't have it, you will never be able to scale up. And if you do it well, you don't need any support. You don't need the government to push your product. People will come. There will be organic growth of your product. But obviously, all those are required as well. I'm not saying you don't need it. But at least for a startup with less resources, this is how you can go to achieve a basic traction. So you can take photos and all if you require. But you understand now, looking at this, what you need to do. I'll show you one last quick slide. Now, I have just taken it and made a different representation of that. So on the top level, you have the customer need. What the customer needs at what stage and what should be your action. The first stage, which is the awareness stage, the customer's need is reach me. Means I need information. So what do you need to do? You need to reach. You need to think how. Then the next stage is interest me. You have reached not enough. I should be interested enough to start talking to you or connecting to you. So your job would be to interest them. How? By sharing your value proposition. Pain and value proposition. So don't push your skis. Push a memorable holiday experience. Okay? But don't push. Don't push. People know that you are pushing. People don't like that. Then, evaluation. The customers, what's going on in the customer's mind? How it can work for me, right? At that stage. So if you can explain to the customer how best it suits the need, the customer would be interested to engage. So your job would be convey scenarios and proposals. See what CD did. What he did, he conveyed scenarios. Correct? What did he do? We are going here, you will need boots because it's too cold or it's old, it should fit here. Now at this time the temperature will be minus, so you need some heavy jackets. So you are giving scenarios and you are helping the customer to make up their mind that how it addresses the need. Then help me decide. Now most of the customers are confused, including me. Do you really know exactly what to buy when you go somewhere? No. You take decision when you look at it and all. So if the seller helps you take decision by telling you, comparing things, then you can take decision faster. So that's the evaluation stage, right? Then realization. That after the decision is done, now see, remove blockers. What are the remove blockers? I don't have money now. That's a blocker. Correct? So you said, okay, don't worry, pay this much, pay later. I have a blocker that I need this in the evening because there is a party. If you remove the blocker, immediately that person will purchase. Don't worry, it will reach you exactly this time. So not only you need to help in addressing the need, you need to also remove the blockers. The blockers, because of the blockers, 70% abandon the cart. Some blockers are there. Then, When you acquired them, realize that you need to ready to deliver the value, right time, whatever you have committed. Saturate usage means the right kind of usage. They are using the product to the fullest. Then only they will realize the value, right? You have not used my product properly and you are complaining. That's not their, it's our responsibility to make sure they're using it properly and using it to the fullest. Then they will love it. The tea example that I've given. Then, if next stage comes is evangelism. This is where you want to be. This is the ideal stage. And you can do it by addressing issues promptly. Maybe you can, that will help you to upsell, cross-sell. And these people will be your biggest promoters. So, tell others. And sometimes, if you like something, you would like to show off to others also, no? Right? If you have purchased a jewelry you are proud of, nobody needs to tell you. You want to put it on the Facebook and show off. And then you want people to ask, why did you purchase it? So the customers already have that need. You just need to provoke that, nudge that. So this is the customer experience journey. And your job is not easy. You need to have strategies to take care of each of the stages of the customer experience journey. Then only you will have a scalable model. Others will not be able to scale up. Money will not help you to scale up. Do you think money can help you to create evangelists for your product? How many $1 million you need to do that? $1 million will not be able to help you to do that. Do you think government will help you to do this? So everything is dependent on you. But if you understand this now, stepping into the shoes of the customer, I think that's the right beginning for you. So that's what we expect on the paper that we have given you. Think and see how you can touch your customers at, all the phases of the customer's journey, how you can touch them and positively influence their mindset and convert them into evangelists of your products. Okay? So, sorry, we are late for lunch, but I thought if I don't complete it in one go, it will be too much. So please have a quick lunch, and we have fantastic session waiting. Kashyap, who has helped develop Paperfry. So he has plenty of examples to share. Okay? So can we start around 2:40? Please come back at 2:40. I'm sorry to push you guys because I don't want you guys to miss. Okay?